All right, today we're going to break down the 8 habits of wealth. And look, we're talking about powerful, but honestly, surprisingly simple habits that build real, lasting wealth. This isn't about flashy tricks or some secret formula. Nope. It's about the foundational stuff, the disciplines that people who actually achieve financial freedom practice every single day. So let's just dive right in. So let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why wealth just seems to, I don't know, flow so easily to some people, but not to others? You know that feeling, right? Where it feels like money just pours into some people's hands, while for the rest of us, it just slips right through our fingers no matter how hard we're working? It's a super frustrating feeling for sure. But here's the good news. The answer is way more in our control than you probably think. We're kind of taught to believe that wealth comes from luck or being born with some amazing talent or maybe getting some big windfall, right? But honestly, research and just plain old experience show us that's a total myth. The real truth? Wealth is built on purpose. It's intentional. It's built brick by brick through these quiet, consistent, smart little habits that you do every single day. It is not an accident. It's deliberate. And this quote from Jim Rohn, man, it just nails it. It cuts right through all the noise. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. It's not about doing 100 things right one time. It's about doing a few simple things right over and over and over again. That's where the real magic happens. All right, so let's start building this thing from the ground up. This first section is all about the habits that give you control. And this is absolutely the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Okay, habit number 1, and this is a big one. Pay yourself first. What does that mean? It means before you pay the rent, before you buy groceries, a piece of every single dollar you earn goes directly to you. There's this great story about Jim Rohn's mentor telling him to save just a dime out of every dollar. And Rohn's like, I can't afford that. But his mentor's response was perfect. He said, you can't afford not to. See, the amount isn't really the point. It's the discipline. It literally rewires your brain to start prioritizing your own future. All right, next up, you got to know where your money is actually going. Habit number 2 is to track every single dollar. For most of us, it's not really an income problem, it's an awareness problem. There's an old saying, you can't manage what you don't measure. So try this little exercise. Just for 30 days, write down every single thing you spend money on. I mean, every coffee, every little subscription. And look, this isn't about judging yourself. It's about finding those little leaks in your financial ship. Because once you can see them, you can finally plug them. And that leads us perfectly into our third habit, living below your means. It's so simple. Wealth is built in that little gap between what you earn and what you spend. I love this story about a millionaire who drove a beat-up 10-year-old car. Someone asked him why, and he just said, sure, I could buy a new one, but I'd rather use my money to buy time. Whoa, think about that. He wasn't buying status, he was buying his own freedom. That right there, that's the whole mindset shift. And this right here, this visualizes the number one enemy of that wealth building gap we were just talking about. It's called lifestyle inflation. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? As soon as we get a raise, what happens? Our spending just magically rises to meet it. A bigger paycheck means a bigger house, a nicer car, fancier dinners. And what this chart shows so clearly is how that trap keeps you stuck no matter how much you're earning. The goal, the real game, is to consciously keep that expense bar from ever catching up to your income bar. Okay, so we've laid the foundation. We've got our defense in place with financial control. Now it's time to shift to offense. Let's talk about the habits that actively grow your wealth. The ones that are all about planting the seeds for your future. Habit number 4 is all about investing in your single most powerful asset, and that's your mind. You have to read and learn every single day. Why? Because your financial life will never rise above your own understanding of it. Think about it. Just 30 minutes a day. That's it. Reading a book, listening to a podcast on your commute, studying a new skill, that small habit can completely transform your thinking and open up doors you didn't even know existed. And this brings us back to another Jim Rohn gem that just puts it so perfectly. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Man, that distinction is just so crucial. School teaches you how to get a job, right? But learning on your own, feeding your own mind with info about money and mindset and growth, that is what builds a fortune. Which brings us to the real engine of wealth growth, investing consistently. And let's be clear, saving and investing are two different things. Saving is for safety. It protects what you already have. But investing is for growth. It's about putting your money to work so it starts earning money for you. And the key word, the most important word here, is consistently. It's not about trying to time the market, it's about time in the market. And this timeline, this is such a brilliant way to see it. Just think of every single dollar you invest as a tiny seed you're planting. At first, you see, well, nothing. It's just dirt. But over a few years, that seed starts to grow roots, then a tree. Then that tree starts to bear fruit, and that fruit has more seeds. And before you know it, you've got an entire orchard. That is the beautiful, undeniable magic of compounding. It rewards the people who are patient and consistent. Okay, habit number 6 is all about building resilience. You don't want to be standing on just one leg, right? If that leg gets kicked out from under you, you're done. So think about this story. There was a photographer with a normal full-time job who started taking portraits on the weekends, just a side hustle. But he took it seriously. He got better. And slowly but surely, it grew into a real business that eventually earned him more than his main job. That second stream of income, it gave him options. And that's the real prize. Okay, so we've covered control and we've covered growth. But listen, none of this stuff sticks without the right mindset. It's like the glue that holds it all together. So this final set of habits is all about shaping your environment, both inside your head and out in the real world, to make all this success sustainable. So I just want you to look at this number for a second, the number 5. Kind of random, right? What in the world could this possibly have to do with building wealth? Well, turns out it has everything to do with it. Because of this powerful idea, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that brings us to habit number 7, surround yourself with winners. Your environment shapes you, period. If you hang around people who are growing, who are disciplined, who talk about ideas and goals instead of complaining, you can't help but rise to that level. Their good habits literally just rub off on you. And that leads us right into our final habit, which really starts with this one. Very direct question. Where are you headed financially? And if you don't have a clear, immediate answer to that, you're probably just drifting. And let me tell you, wealth doesn't happen by drifting. It responds to clear, focused direction. And that clarity is the whole point of habit number 8, set specific financial goals. Just look at the difference here. Pay off debt. That's just a vague hope, isn't it? But pay off the $3,000 credit card, now that is a target you can aim for. Same thing with save money versus save a $5,000 emergency fund. When you define your target with that kind of crystal clarity, your brain just naturally starts figuring out ways to hit it. All right, we've gone through 8 really powerful habits. But here's the thing, knowledge without action is completely useless. So let's talk about what you can do, your very first step. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now, today. And as you get started, please keep this in mind. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't think you have to do all 8 of these things perfectly starting tomorrow. You don't. Wealth isn't built in a mile, it's built by the inch. It's all about that small, consistent, daily progress. So to start, just pick one. That's it. One. First, define one clear goal. Pick the one habit from this list that really jumped out at you and set a super clear, specific goal around it. And second, take one small action. Just one tiny, manageable thing you can do today to move toward that goal. That's it. That's how you start building momentum. And I want to leave you with this final thought. Wealth doesn't care where you started. It doesn't care about your background. It doesn't care what your bank account looks like today. The only thing that actually matters is the direction you choose to head starting right now. So the real question is, where are you headed?